This is John Cola with GrowingYourGreens.com. I have another exciting episode for you today, and today is going to be an interesting one at that. I was actually harvesting my bronze fennel seeds. So what I do to harvest the seeds is just take a large bag and some clippers, and I'll go underneath a big stalk here and clip it. And then go ahead and drop that in the bag. Sometimes if I'm really good, I could just go to like a big large stalk here and just put the bag underneath and clip it and have it drop right in the bag. So I grew this bronze fennel originally because I heard it was a perennial and it's something that looks really pretty, but besides looking pretty, it's also edible. Now this is not the same bulb fennel or Finocchio fennel that you'd find in your grocery store for the vegetable department, you know, that nice large bulb that you eat. I mean, while you can't eat the bulb on this, there's not a whole lot of bulb to eat, but this is amazing to use for the spice. You could grab the leaves and actually eat that as a salad, and this is very productive in terms of seeds. I mean, you can see these little seed heads. Every year I get so many freaking seeds, and you know, some people might think, oh John, you know, I'm growing this thing, it's, you know, so invasive, it drops its seeds and it starts and sprouts everywhere up, I'm gonna get rid of it. Well, to me, that's a really good problem to have, because why? Because now you're growing food without you lifting a finger. I mean, I gotta plant my, you know, kales and chards and everything, you know, different plants every year. My lettuces, they're not gonna come back like this. This thing grows year round. You know, when it goes through its life cycle, it finishes up, it dries out. But then at the base, which I'll show you in a second, it actually starts resprouting and regrowing. Plus all the seeds that I'm not collecting, they're actually growing into little baby sprouts. So for these seeds, you could actually eat these seeds as, you know, like an herb or a spice. And the other thing that I recommend you do, if you have a lot of seeds, like I'm not even done collecting the seeds yet, I got a whole bag full. The best thing to do is what I'm going to share with you in just a second. So actually, let me show you guys the base of the bronze fennel and show you how I got inspired to use the seeds. Now we're going to show you the base of this plant so you can see the big stalks that it just grew up and it's all dried out the top. So every year what I do is I come down to this base and just literally hack it back. But at the root ball stays alive in this climate here, Northern California, and then there's all these new growths and new shoots. So these new shoots that we're looking at now are going to grow into this big behemoth with a lot of seeds for next year. And you know, you can eat all the little greens, and this is like a nice little sprig. Actually, that looks like a little Christmas tree. And that's nice to add to salads. It adds a nice hint of flavor, and also it gets more greens in you, if you know what I mean. I just like to snack on it in the garden. Especially this time of year. When the plants are young and baby, they're more tender and more delicious and more water rich. As they get more mature and older, they don't taste as good. So always when harvesting greens for your salad greens, don't pick the large leaves. You're a gardener. You have the freedom to select which leaves you want, not like at the store when they dictate to you which ones you need to buy. So when you're a gardener out in your garden picking to eat a salad for dinner that night, pick all the baby small leaves, but you know, don't pick all of them off one plant. Pick a few off each plant so you'll have nice tender greens for eating. Even tender greens like collard greens and kale and Swiss chard, when they're smaller, they're a lot better tasting than the larger leaves. And you know, spice it up with some bronze fennel. Really good. So besides just the baby leaves, what's better than eating baby leaves? Well, I'm going to show you right now. So besides eating the baby leaves of the baby plants that are just sprouting and regrowing for this new season, are right below. We're sitting at the bed, actually right next to where all the bronze fennel seeds are dropping. They're dropping in this bed, and check it out. We just have a whole bunch of bronze fennel sprouts. So I like to pull these guys up, I mean, roots and all, and they're just nice and tiny. And, man, they're so good. They're even more tender than the baby ones. So you could literally just take some scissors. I like to pull them up. You could take some scissors and just hack them all back. And there's a little sprout right there. You can see the little root and all. And guess what? You're going to be eaten. So delicious and so good. So that gave me the idea of what I could do with all my seeds. I'm going to grow microgreens, which is the baby greens, which are little like sprouts, in trays, and just harvest them and clip them back and eat and enjoy them.
microgreens can contain up to 4 times more nutrition than the full-size plant. But normally to buy a lot of seeds, especially organic ones, may cost a lot of money. But when you're blessed with a lot of seeds, hey, grow some out to plant in your garden, grow some to give to friends, but you can now grow and use them to make microgreens. You could also just sprout them and eat them, much like you would eat the seeds. When you germinate the seeds and sprout the seeds, their nutrition increases. So even if you're eating things like grains, I encourage you guys to actually sprout your grains and then use them to cook so that they'll be more nutritious. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning more about what I'm going to do with my bronze fennel seeds and how to get the most nutrition out of some of the greens you grow in your garden. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep on growing.